saw on Twitter that no, never mind. I need to go back and check my resources before I say anything. Well,
Hi y'all, welcome back to my channel. My name is Chantel and I have a special guest, not Jess, special guest, Jess. Do you want to introduce yourself?
yes, hello, my name is Jess. I also go to Howard, like Chantel. Instagram and Twitter, more Jess, but without the E is an X. So
Okay, thank you very much for that introduction. So we just finished watching Bridgerton. I have a lot to say.
But before I start, I didn't know my hair wasn't picked out on the other side. It looked fine on camera, and now I'm looking back on it, so please give me a break.
I'm gonna be honest. It was slow at first. That's why it was so hard for me to get through it. Cause it was like it's a good show, but I was kind of like, okay, this is kind of not boring, but it was like slow. So I wasn't expecting that from a Shonda Rhimes show. Like I could expect it with anybody else, but this is one of Shonda Rhimes' like most different shows to me.
Oh yeah, and I usually trust what Shonda Rhimes does. I usually like all her shows. I probably watched a majority of her shows, so I knew it was gonna be good. I think I had high expectations because it was like trending, and then when my mom watched it, she said I would like it. So I probably should have went in expectations. It was a good show though.
I was regretting watching it because everybody was talking about it at one point, and I was like putting it off because I was like, okay, y'all are doing a lot. Y'all are doing a lot. So when I watched it, I even texted one of my friends. I was like, yeah, this is not as good as y'all wanted it to be, but it's really not that bad. I just think the expectations were really high. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like if you didn't have the expectations like we did, then we probably would have enjoyed it a little bit more.
So who was your favorite character?
I have to say Daphne's my favorite character because like she's just a good person. Like the way that first off, her brother Anthony, let me be specific, she has a lot of siblings, was so annoying in the beginning. Like you can't talk to her, you can't near her. Like this woman's trying to get a husband. Like why are you cock blocking? I guess I'm just like, what's wrong with you? Like, bro, I was just so upset at him. I was like, there's suitors there, and then like he's just ruining it, and then he's not noticing how much he's ruining it. So he was just annoying. But like when the biggest thing that she did is like with the duel thing, which was dumb in the first place. I was like, why are they having a duel? And she even said, she's just like, you know that he's too prideful or he's too stubborn that they're actually gonna go through with it. And that was true. I was like, they're dueling over nothing.
So I'll talk about Anthony before I talk about Simon. Anthony, I understood why he was trying to be like that protective brother. Like it made sense, but at the same time, it was irritating. And then he wanted her to be with Bearbrook, I believe his name is. I'm like,
yes, okay. I was like, this man's a pedophile. Like
literally.
He's a pedophile.
And I had to Google it. I was like, okay, Daphne looked 14, 13. But I know that's like common. But they said Daphne is 21. And I believe that Simon's 33, which isn't that bad. The other thing about Anthony, I thought it was I thought Anthony's storyline was cool because I thought he was going to end up with Sienna, and then he didn't.
They were cute, I guess.
It wasn't cute because it was like he only wanted her, not like he wanted her hidden, like he wouldn't claim her. And I was like, yes, Sienna, you better cut him off because the other guy was claiming her.
They're in different classes, right? She's in the lower class because she has to work, which apparently women do not work. They're just like, and like, I was just surprised he wasn't married at this point. Like, I understand why, because he's controlling that he doesn't want to be, but I was just like, okay. Like, he was really hiding her. I'm glad she told him off at the end, like, hey, like, yeah. And I believe at that point he truly would have brought her out into the world, his world. But it was just too late.
He wanted her to change and be like Daphne and the rest of the girls on court, but she is not that girl. I said, come on, Sienna. You better tell them.
Not.
I think going back to Daphne, I usually like the main character is the annoying character. That's like with Vampire Diaries or with Glee, like all those annoying characters. But Daphne was so cool. Like she
so
always
nice.
was standing up for herself. I was like,
she really was.
Right.
Like when she stopped the duel, she could have died, but she was just like, you know what? Like the fact that she knew that Simon. The fact that she knew from the beginning that Simon didn't want children or he couldn't have any. He said he couldn't have any. And she was just like, I'm going to just marry him anyways because I think this is what's best for both of us. And she did that. And I really admire her that she would sacrifice because she really wanted to be a mother and that she would sacrifice that because she really did love him at that moment and she didn't want him to die. And so she was like, I'll do this. But then when Simon revealed that he could have children, I was just so upset. First I was like, wow, she really did not know what sex was. I was like,
oh my gosh, that's why I thought Bridgerton was a comedy, because it was like, okay, none of these girls know what sex is. Because even Penelope was asking Marina, she was like, how did you get sick? And she's sick, but how did this happen? Like, don't you have to be married so you can get pregnant without being married? I'm like, okay, y'all. Like, your parents really don't tell you anything.
The mom, but I was on Twitter and the mom was like, somebody said the mom really should have told Daphne what sex was.
Yeah, I think at least if you're about to get married, like, hello, like she shouldn't have to go to the maid and ask, like,
the maid
how is the child come about?
She was like, oh, like, she really had it. That one scene where she finally found out and he, did what he was supposed to have a child. Technically, like, I was on Twitter and they were saying, like, that's technically kind of rape, if you think about it. Because, like, he didn't consent to that. Do you agree or disagree?
Oh, yeah, when she, like, was on top of him. Yeah, I thought about that when it happened. But at the same time, there's a lot wrong with that situation. Because it was like, oh, you said you couldn't have children because you made a vow to your dad on his deathbed that you'll never carry on his name. And I'm just like, yeah, because I'm just like, okay, I understand, like, your dad was a terrible person.
Was
and,
awful.
He had
a stuttering problem. He's like,
he was just a abusive father. Like, I get it, but you shouldn't. That's the thing about holding on to grudges, because if you hold on to grudges for too long, then it festers into this nothingness because nobody else can feel it. Like, you did all that for nobody else to feel. It was a lot going on with Simon.
Yeah, and it was just like, the man's dead. So, like, his dying wishes, you told him with your last, like, I'm never going to carry on this thing. You didn't have to, he doesn't know that if you did or didn't, the man's gone. So let's continue on with your life, have children, have a family, because that's what you want. That's what Daphne wants too. I was just like, you can't be holding on to this. The man's gone. I hope, like, going back to the whole, like, she finding out what sex was, like, people were saying the roles were reversed. That would have been, people probably would have talked about that more, about being rape or not. That's true.
I mean, yeah, I think so. I think it's something to note because that is rape.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
I
felt bad, like, that she wasn't pregnant because I know she really wanted to be after that, even though it was a terrible situation. Pat, other than what she did was wrong, I still felt bad for her because, like, she had a miscarriage when they went to the opera.
Yeah, I felt, I don't know. I was kind of like, okay, whatever. I mean, I knew, I know she got pregnant in the end, so maybe that's why I'm kind of like looking back, okay, whatever. Before we move on to another character, do you think next season we'll see Daphne and Simon in the limelight again? Because it kind of seems like their storyline is done.
It does seem like the storyline is done. I don't know. I think they might move on to the other sister.
Mm-hmm.
That would make more sense. They're kind of setting her up already, focusing on her, like, going into being a woman, even though she doesn't. being a woman in that society, even though she doesn't like the tradition. So maybe it's gonna be more about her fighting. What's her name again?
Louise.
Louise, yeah.
I think I agree. I don't think they're gonna carry on this Daphne and Simon plot anymore because it was kind of like, okay, y'all have a kid, y'all are like happily ever after. But I think that we'll focus on Featheringtons a lot more because we still don't know who has the estate. I don't know if it's Will, who is like the black boxer. I don't know who has the estate or those weird guys at the end.
Yeah, that was a lot. The ending was kind of a lot because he did die, and then are they poor? Are they not poor? Do we know?
I didn't like. I mean, I like that they told us who Lady Whistledown was, but
no, I'm just annoyed. The fact that Penelope is. Okay. First off, she put her family in jeopardy all because she was jealous that Colin was so in love with Marina and she's so in love with Colin. Like, you didn't have to put your family in jeopardy like that. Like, she almost ostracized her family because she was jealous. She could have told Colin in person, like, hey, like, sis is pregnant.
Okay.
I tell you.
But I get it because no. I feel for Penelope because one, like she didn't have any callers. Like Colin was basically friend zoning her, and then when she went to Colin and she was like, "Hey, what did she say?" She's like, "Oh yeah,
she was in love with someone else."
Yeah, she's in love with somebody in Spain," and he was like, "Oh, it's okay. Like I flirted with all the boys, or not all the boys,
all the girls."
All the girls in London. And then she was like, okay, I give up basically. But like, I understand why she was Lady Whistledown. I kind of figured it was her and not the girl who was in the shop, because why would they give us the big series finale in the middle of the series? It doesn't make sense.
Oh. Yeah, I understand that. My thing is just like, Penelope risked her family's name over a crush. So that's why I have to disagree with you over that, because they were really ostracizing her family. Like, they were like, okay, like, can't trust these people, or these people are just not with us anymore. Like, that hurt her sisters, that hurt her mom, all because she was just jealous of Colin and Marina. She could have told, I wish she had more of the confidence to tell Colin, because I know that she really cared about him, like, hey, like, she's pregnant and she's lying and blah, blah, blah. But, like, she risked it. Like, now they have their name back, but she really risked it over a small little crush. I feel bad.
It wasn't a small crush, though. She loved him.
My bad. Over a love. I just don't think because she was so close to Colin, like, I felt like she could have really confided in him, like, as a friend. Like, if she looked over, like, okay, like, I'm not just in love with him, like, he's one of my great, great friends. I feel like that would have been good enough. I just didn't like how she did that to her family. I feel like Louise would keep the secret. And she's just giving her friend the go around of, like, trying to find this person. And I know the queen's involved, but now Louise saw that the queen was, like, about to, like, get her or something, and she protected Penelope. She saved Penelope at that time, so I feel like Louise would be more loyal would totally be more loyal to Penelope than to the queen and her agenda. So I feel like it'd be nice for her to tell Louise, because I feel like Louise really does look up to Lady Whistledown, and, like, that's who she wants to be. She wants to be, like, not tied down to a man. And yeah, so I wish she told Penelope. I wish Penelope told Louise. I hope she does in the future.
It said that Lady Whistledown has to be somebody who is not at the events during, like, late hours so she can deliver the mail. But I'm like, wasn't Penelope at all those events? Like, that's why I was trying to figure out, how is she Lady Whistledown?
I guess because Penelope isn't really looked at or isn't really dancing with anybody. People wouldn't look for her disappearance.
I think it was interesting how uncovering Lady Whistledown was, like, the least of our problems. Like, I feel like in Gossip Girl, you're trying to figure out who Gossip Girl is.
Yeah.
But later, like, that was, like, okay. It was, like, a minor plot.
We haven't talked about Marina.
Yeah. What do you think about her?
What she did to Colin was wrong. I see why she did it. I see why she wanted to do it, but I just couldn't. It was just so wrong. It's so sweet and he's so nice and he was really into her. And then her like having this plot like, oh, I'm gonna go do it with him and then pretend that this baby is his. Like that just really broke my heart because I was like, Colin doesn't deserve that. And I know that he really, really, and the fact that he said, like, even if you told me, like, I would have done this, I was like, see, he's even better than what we even knew that he was. And I just felt so bad for him. But I feel bad for her situation in general.
Overall, I liked did I like Marina? I feel like she didn't have enough lines or anything for me to really know her character besides her being pregnant.
Lady Featherton was really mean to her. Like she did not care about her because she was taking the spotlight away from her daughters, which I understood. But still, she didn't say this is my family. She just like get away from me, like.
And honestly, it was kind of like, okay, girl, like you're broke. Let's roll it back. I think once she realized she was broke, she started like not being nicer, but including her more in things.
Up that plan to get Colin. That was
yeah. But also, like, I really do think that Marina, even though like it's always like means to an end, so her means were wrong. But well, were her means wrong? Yeah, her means were wrong by getting with Colin and not telling her that telling him that she was pregnant. But also, I really do think like, oh, she really had a connection with him. She really loved him. And Colin's saying that he would have, and Colin's saying that he would have, like helped her if she had told him. I don't know. I don't think so.
I feel like part of me feels like he was telling the truth. Because I think he was just so enamored by her and he was focused on that. Like, you know, when they say, like, when you're in love or whatever, like, that's all you see. And I feel like that's what he was. I feel like in that moment, he probably would have. And also, I feel like part of oh my gosh, her name's Marina's downfall was when she yelled at Penelope. Like, she's like, you ain't gonna, she's like, oh, you love Colin? He ain't gonna ever love you. I was like, girl, you don't have to.
No, but Penelope, didn't she say something to her? Like, Marina just didn't say that. She said something to her.
She said something to her, but she didn't have to go that hard at her. I was like, you hurting feelings. She that day she went to hurt feelings. She hurt Penelope. She's like, oh, you love him? Well, he isn't gonna love you. I was like, girl.
I know that's right. Tell her, Marina. I don't know. I liked Marina because she was real. I like that all the women or the girls in this story were all like very real and like you can't tell me what to do. Like I'm still very feminist vibes. Yeah. And then Marina also, she when she at first I thought she was killing herself, not just the baby. I was like,
I really thought she was gonna kill herself and the baby. I was just like, wow. That's sad.
Like the fact that Daphne, who was like the main character, she's just not gonna put up with whatever Simon has to say. Yeah. And she wasn't like gonna follow Anthony's every order. So I just thought that was cool because like genuinely when you think of like Victorian era, that's what this is, right? Right. When you think of that kind of stuff, you think of like the women being very submissive, doing whatever the men say, like they're just playing their part in society. So I just thought it was cool to see that. I thought it was also cool that it was like very multicultural. That's not very realistic, but it was cool to see a black queen.
Yeah.
A black Hispanic. Yeah. Was there Hispanic? No, there wasn't. Yeah. But it was cool.
They're trying with diversity. Could have been totally many more black people. But Scale 1 through 10, I'd say I'd give it a 7. Like, I would suggest it to people, but I wouldn't say this is my favorite show ever. Like, you gotta go watch this type thing. I feel like it's good for what it is. I think it can only go up from here. Now that it got the hype, definitely gonna get a season 2 to see how that is. So, it was good. But I'm pretty sure they're probably gonna focus on Daphne's other sister.
Give it 6 out of 10. I would watch it again, and I probably would watch season 2, but I had like really high expectations because I love everything Shonda Rhimes does, and it was just very different than any other Shonda Rhimes show. But in hindsight, it was really good. It was very light, and it was cute to watch. I thought it was really funny that they had like pop 100 top hits and violin. I was like, okay, that Bridgerton will be as interesting next season if they don't do something good.
I don't know. Maybe. There's 9 books.
9 books? Oh my goodness. Okay, not 9 seasons. So we'll see. Maybe I should read the book so I can figure out like what's going to happen next season.
You probably always, I feel like I used to when I was younger, would read the book before I watched the movie. Just give you a better understanding of everything.
Yeah, that's true.
It's so much better to read before you watch anything.
Maybe I'll look into it if somebody says that the book is
I hope that season 2 is better than season 1. I feel like, have you seen Little Women?
No, I haven't, but I've heard of it.
So, like, one of the characters, like, she's just like Louise, main character, the one that played by, I forgot her name. She's a very popular actress. Anyways, her character was, like, not, like, conforming to society, doesn't need a man type thing. That was, like, her, she got a man at the end, but that doesn't matter. Really, that was, like, that was who she was. Like, I'm bigger than what society wants me to be, and that's how Eloise is like. So I just wonder how they're going to play that out. Like, I hope they don't, I don't know. I hope it's just not too much. You feel me? Like, they're overdoing it.
I get that. I hope that season 2 is more climactic in the beginning and in the middle, and not just at the end. Yeah.
I think, now I think about it, they probably might focus on the Duke and Daphne a little bit more now that they do have a child, and now that they have this whole estate and like these people that they have to watch over and all that stuff, and like gonna change that. She's starting to change me a little bit of, like, just because I'm of this high status, like, you can still talk to me. And so I feel like they might focus a little bit on that too.
They could. Well, I'll watch it. If I have nothing else to watch. So if y'all agree with anything we said, have any comments, if y'all want to see Jess again, just comment down below. Thank you, Jess, for coming on. And please like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll have a new video next week. Bye.
Bye.